everyone, this is Thecos and today is a very special day. I've been thinking about introducing my own award for a while to honor the games I enjoy the most, but have been hesitant for a while. Well, I've now done it, and I'm proud to introduce the Sir Thecos Ace of Games Award. We have the gold variant for the games that I find exceptionally good, and the silver one for games that I deem excellent, but that may be just held back by something minor. The design of the award is probably obvious, but let me say a few words about it since I really like and I'm really proud of it. The spades in the middle was designed with my channel colors. It's also part of the name of the award since Ace of Games means the best of games, but also is a play on words and it sounds similar to the Ace of Spades that make up my channel logo. The shield has a really nice shape while symbolizing the Sir of Sir Thecos. Last but not least, the shields come in two variants, silver and gold for the respective awards as already mentioned. So what are the qualifications to receive such an award? Of course, like many things in life, this is highly subjective. In general, I award this to games that I find especially entertaining, designed especially well or elegantly, or view as a great overall package. This is the metric we have to go by, since I don't rate games on this channel with a number. I don't really like doing that. I believe that rating a game is more complex than slapping a number in front of it. Yes, I am rating games on Board Game Geek, but that is not a definitive rating. The definitive rating is how much I would recommend a game. And all games that I award the Ace of Games to, I would definitely 100% recommend. But that is not quite all for this video. In fact, this was only the introduction. Now, there are a lot of games that I have already featured on the channel. And a lot of those have already earned this award. So, I will now retroactively award the Ace of Games to these games. Keep in mind that I will only mention games that I have actually shown off on the channel. Being part of unboxings or top lists does count as well. Games that I have played, but that have not yet been officially released will not be considered. This is why a game like Cosmoctopus cannot receive an award, at least not yet. But there are also games I find excellent but I'm not yet comfortable with giving an award to, because this award is final and I will not take it away from any games in the future if I have awarded the Ace of Games to it. The following games will be in no particular order and I will not do a full review on each of them. I will just say a word or two why I think they deserve my award. Alright, let's get started with all games I featured on the channel that deserve the silver Sir Thecos Ace of Games Award. As I said, they're in no particular order. I'm just pulling, I just put all the games here to the right, and I will just pull them off in any order, right, and just show them to you. They all received the Silver Sir Thecos Ace of Games Award. The order doesn't matter. Let's start with Fantastic Factories. This is a game that I just played on my channel recently. This is a very, very cool game that plays very well solo. It plays well with other players. It is a really cool engine builder. Definitely a game that I would highly recommend to everybody who likes like this kind of engine building and dice placement game. Definitely a contender for the Silver Sir Thecos Ace of Games Award. Let's continue with a few smaller games. Two roll and writes that definitely deserve the award as well. That is Welcome to Your Perfect Home. This is really cool. This is a really accessible game where you just put street numbers in these houses, put guards and pools. It's a really approachable topic and it's also a really approachable game that you can teach to a lot of people. Really cool for a quick game. You can play with as many players as you want to. Really good. Another really good roll and write is Railroad Ink Challenge. Definitely also deserves this award. Really simple to play, just like in the morning when you're having your tea. At night after work you can just play a quick game. I should play this much more often, but it definitely deserves the award because this is a really good game in a really small package and you can like have a lot of expansions here with a lot of different dice to make it even more exciting. Really good. Let's talk about more small games. Well, these small games are more at the top of my piles here, so that makes sense, right? So let's start with two games that I have, actually with three games I've played on my channel. Grove is like the successor of Orchard, both very good games. I like Grove a little bit more. Orchard was good, but it was lacking like some variety, some other game modes, and Grove does have that. So this is a really good game. I definitely recommend that to everybody who likes to play solitaire games. This is really easy to just pull out and play. Plays very quick in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes max. Really cool. Urbion, a game of the Universe series. I like this a lot. I do like Onirim a lot more, but Urbion still is a very good game, and I can highly recommend it to everybody who likes such solo games in a small package. What holds this a little bit back is that it's just a little bit too luck dependent in my opinion. Onirim I think is a little bit better in that regard, regarding balance, but still a very good one that definitely deserves the Silver Ace of Games award. And another game that probably a lot of people would not award because it's not very well known. You might know this, I do have several videos on my channel on this. This is like a really, really fun like color mixing game. You have to like actually mix colors in order to cook food in the Soviet Union. Like a really, really strange concept, but it's a really fun game. This is like a hit with almost everyone I play it. And I also got the autograph from the designer here, which is really cool. Alright, so let's look at more games. Let's now talk about a few classics in my opinion. We have Dixit. Definitely will get the Silver Ace of Games award. I could have almost given the golden one because it's so good, but there are just games I like even more than this, and while it is a good game, I give it the Silver Ace of Games award, and also its successor, Stella, Dixit Universe, which I actually like more. If you don't own any of these two games, you definitely should get one of them, and if you want my opinion, I would advise you to get Stella, because I think this is just the more solid game. It has more player interaction. You're actually trying to think like what could the other people think. I like this a lot more, but still Dixit is very, very good, and I would call this pretty much a classic by my standards. A game that is not mentioned very often, and I can't understand why, is Concept. My copy looks quite beaten up. Well, you can't really see it on camera because I just have owned it for quite a while. This was nominated for Spiel des Jahres 2014. It's a shame I didn't get it, because this is an amazing game. This is one of the games that I think should be part of everyone's collection. You're just pretty much trying to convey words and also sayings with just images. There's like a board of images, you just put things on there, like markers on there, and people try to guess what you're trying to explain. This is amazing. There is a children's version even with animals. I would highly suggest getting that for your children if you have any like smaller ones, because they can really like learn to try to communicate without words. Such an amazing game. Really, really cool. Maybe it's more an activity and less a game, but still it's really good. Two other games that I really, really enjoy are Taverns of Tiefenthal and also the Quacks of Quedlinburg, the German versions here, which doesn't matter now, but these are two amazing games. This is one of the best pushy luck games that I know, and Taverns of Tiefenthal is a really good deck builder and dice placement game. Both are great, both were very close to getting the Golden Award, but they just didn't quite make the cut. The Quacks of Quedlinburg is amazing, it's great, and I like to play it a lot, but usually when I played it 2, 3, 4 times, it's okay. And then I can just wait a little bit before playing it again. I don't want to play it every day, right? And that's what kind of held it back. Like if I award a Golden Award to a game, I need to pretty much be able to play it every day, right? And Taverns of Tiefenthal is good as well, but it has a lot of phases to a turn, and it's not quite as approachable as other games. And also I think there's some ways that grant you more points and better points than other ways. So I think that the variety of how to actually win the game is a little bit less than it could be, but still they're both really good, and I would highly recommend them to pretty much everyone. Seriously, really good. And the last two games from pile number 1, Rajas of the Ganges, one of the very best worker placement games in my opinion, at least of the ones that I have played. I really like this. It has great theme, it has great components, and it's really fun having these dice as your workers actually. A really clever mechanism. It's kind of held back by, it's similar to Taverns of Tiefenthal, just a little bit more, that I think there are 1 or 2 ways to win the game easier than others. I am not quite sure how balanced it really is, but it's a really good game. It's really fun, and if you don't try to min-max the game, it is really, really good to play. And the other game I have here is Ticket to Ride. I don't have to say a lot about it, but this definitely deserves the award as well, because it's just so approachable. I can play this with my wife's family. It's that easy. So yeah, definitely a game that I would suggest almost for everyone to have in their collection. This is really easy to pull out and play. This is just really, really good. I'm now on my second pile, and as usual there are some smaller games at the top. So let's talk about those first. First, you know that I like small games, I like solo games, and I also like games of the Button Shy series, and there are a few, in my opinion, that definitely deserve the Silver Ace of Games award. These are Ragemore, one of my most favorite solo games, Death Valley, which is great solo and great two-player count, Skulls of Sedlec, which it has a lot of variety, especially with the expansions, but a really good puzzle game, and Tussie Mussie by Elizabeth Hargrave, the designer of Wingspan, which is also like a really, really cool I cut you choose game. So these 4 are definitely deserving of the award as well. If you want to know more about these, I've played all of those on the channel, some even more than once, so I highly suggest you check out those videos. I have 2 more small games here. The next one is Vegetable Stock. There's also a video on my channel on that, where I'm playing the game with Aylis, my best friend. Such a fun family game. This is just a few cards. You explain the game in 1 minute and you play it in 10. It's that kind of game. It's amazing. Like, the vegetables all have faces, which is hilarious. And it's just like a stock market of vegetables, right? Really good. I highly suggest you check out my video on that. It's a very hilarious and cool game. And the next small game is actually a Game Crafter game. The first Game Crafter game I will award the Ace of Games award to, and that is Deckula. This is a game that was so fun to play and I still enjoyed a lot. It's kind of held back by its long-term replayability. I really need an expansion for that. As with a lot of games here in today's video, I've played this on the channel. Go and check it out if you're interested. Really, really good. Also a game I have played on my channel several times is Under Falling Skies. A pure solo game. It is amazing. Really, really good. I don't play it as much anymore as I used to in the beginning. And that is why it only gets the silver award. Because while there are a lot of missions there and they kind of shake up the formula, like the general formula, the general gameplay always like they stays the same, right? So it is good, but I don't want to play it like every day, right? There are other solo games that I enjoy more, but it's still a very, very good game. A very good solo game. If you like looking for an entry into solo gaming, this might be a pretty good one to get because this is a safe bet. This is a good game. Seriously. Of course, there are also party games that I deem very, very good, and these are 2 of those. I've talked about, in other videos, I've talked about these 2. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in today's video, of course. Just one of the best party games in my opinion. Hands down, you can play this with anyone. This is really easy. I can play this with the grandmother of my wife. It's that easy. It's such a simple game. Really good. I would highly suggest you get that one. Especially with the expansion, because the expansion lets you play up to 9 players and there are even more word cards. But this is a really good word explanation game, a cooperative one. Another really good cooperative game is Top 10. It was nominated for Spiel des Jahres last year. It's really good as well. You're trying to sort statements by your fellow players that you play together with cooperatively into like a ranking of 1 to 10. And you're trying to like put them all in the correct order. Really good, really simple, hilarious. This game never fails to make the group laugh. Never. And even just one is a blast as well. These are hilarious, approachable and really good party games that also support a lot of players. Okay. Next one is Dorfromantik. So with this one I was thinking a bit, will it get an award? Will it give a silver one? Will it get a gold one? And I decided for the silver one because this is a very good game. This is a very good implementation or translation of the video game to the board gaming sphere. Done really well. It's a really nice tile laying game. It is a cooperative tile laying game, which you don't have a whole lot. It does quite a lot of new things, which I really, really appreciate. And also you do have that progression. Is the game simple at the beginning? Yes, it is. But you can unlock more boxes and more things to work with. And then it becomes more complex. So this is pretty much a game for everyone. I played this with like pretty much gamers. People who play a lot of games. At the beginning they thought like, oh, I don't know if I will like that. But they all enjoyed it because it was fun to puzzle that together. I know that not everybody has this opinion, but you know what? This is my list, and I think this is definitely deserving of a Silver Ace of Games award. And I mean, it won Spiel des Jahres this year, so it can't be that bad. Can it? Right? Almost another classic as well, right? Century Golem Edition. I'm not talking about the Golem Edition, like Century in general could have gotten this award, but this one is especially beautiful with like these nice gems and everything. I have a video on my channel for that as well. Also for Dorfromantik, which you just saw. Check those out if you want to. This is a really good game. It's more like a hand management game and you try to get more and more cards so you can actually play to get these golems to help you. Really cool game, very easy to explain. Plays quite quick as well. Very, very simple, very elegant. A game I really suggest you check out at least. So I have a few small or medium box games here that also deserve the award. We do have Draftosaurus, a video on my channel for that. Really good, a really nice drafting game that you can almost play with everyone as well. You have like these little zoo boards and you're putting like these really cute wooden dinosaur meeple on the board. Really great, very enjoyable game that is quite easy to teach and really quick to play. You play a game in like, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe? 15 minutes tops. You can play like 2 games in like 20-25 minutes if you know how it plays. Really cool, really quick, very cute meeples, great components. Definitely suggest that one. The next one is Rome. This one almost got a golden Ace of Games award because I really, really, really like this one. But, well, I think it's not quite enough for the golden one because it's just a little bit maybe too simple, and I'm not sure if I would play it every day. Well, almost. I think I would almost play it every day, but still, it definitely deserves the Silver Ace of Games award. I do have a video on my channel on that if you kind of want to get an idea for that. I will play it quite soon on the channel with A-list most likely, so you will see a 2-player playthrough of that quite soon. A game that is totally underrated. And then we also have Canvas. I have videos on my channel. I have played it on my channel. It's great. It's a really nice resource collection game where you try to like put transparent sheets on top of each other, and then you try to match like the symbols in a way like the goal cards tell you to. Really cool. It can be a little brain burner, and because it is so approachable and still a little bit too brain burny, like with this combination, this is why I only got the Silver Ace of Games award, which is still a very big honor, if I do say so myself. Let's take a look at a few smaller boxes. Maquis. This is a game that is very new to me. I just got this like a few weeks ago, but I played it quite a few times already, and this one is amazing. It is such a good game. There are a few shortcomings why I did not grant it the Golden Ace of Games award. It was close, but couldn't quite get it, mostly because sometimes it seems like a little bit fixed of what you can do, right? You do have a little bit less freedom than I would like to. That's like one of the main reasons, but it's still a really good game that I would play a lot. Not quite every day, but almost. Very good. If you want to see how it plays, I just released a playthrough on my channel, just I think last week. So I highly suggest that one as well. Speaking of smaller board games, Age and Terrain, a game that people keep asking me about where they can get it because I have a playthrough on my channel and I'm always praising this game. It is just so simple. You just take a tile, like a tile of the pond, with like flowers on each side, just put it in the table. Like in the middle of the table, and you're trying to like match like 4 tiles together. That's all you do. You don't do a whole lot, but it's really fun. It's a really good game, and it's not possible to get anymore, right? Except if you find a used copy, and even that is very tough to get because most people want to keep this. It's not being reprinted, and I haven't heard of any plans to ever get it reprinted, so this is quite a rare thing in my collection. I wouldn't have thought so, getting it back then. When I got it, there were like enough copies, right? But now you can hardly get it anymore. It's really good and definitely deserves the Silver Ace of Games award. Definitely. I have a few more small games. Mountain Goats. I also played that with A-list on the channel if you want to check it out. A hilarious party game. It's very simple. It's quite similar to Can't Stop. You have these cards that resemble a mountain. You have goats at the bottom. You roll dice and then you allocate these dice to these mountains and you just walk up the mountain. That's all you do. You don't do a whole lot. You roll dice, you separate them into piles, and then you let your goats walk up the mountain. That's all you do. It's a really simple game, but that is what makes it so fun because it's really quick to set up, quick to explain, quick to play, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious. You keep kicking each other down the mountain, and when you get to the top, really cool. I can highly suggest that in a really small package as well. And with the expansion, you can even play it up to 5 players instead of 4. I highly suggest also getting the expansion, which also gives you more options to use your goats, like your rolls, so to speak, if you want like a little bit more meat to the game. And then we have 2 more small games. One of them is Point Salad. I do have 2 versions of that, the larger one and this one here. And this one I actually got in the Netherlands, that's the Dutch version. So yeah, a really good game. I will release a playthrough of that quite soon on the channel. You can explain this in 2 minutes. You can play it in like 20 minutes, and it's a fun time with everyone. Just a simple drafting game. You're drafting goals, you're drafting vegetables, and you're trying to get the most points. That's it. That's also where the term Point Salad is derived from, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, it's a really good game. It's a classic. It almost got the Golden Ace of Games award, almost, but then I didn't quite give it to that one. And the last small game, for the Silver Ace of Games Award is Zuuli. A game I really enjoy. It's not very well known. It was like a small Kickstarter. I even have the prototype copy here, but it still counts because it did come out like I think 1.5 years ago. 1.5 or 2 years ago, it actually came out as a real game, production copy and everything. So it still counts, even though I only still have the prototype copy, but I'm still trying to get the real copy as well. This is a really cool game that is a small package. It's a drafting and puzzle game. You draft animals and enclosures, and then you try to build your zoo. You do that over a few years, and like the points accumulate, which is pretty cool. And you can play it also up to 5 players. It's really easy to explain. It plays quite quickly. Really cool. Even has a solo mode when you have the production copy. Really nice. It was kind of held back by the runaway problem, I think, because the points accumulate. You keep your points from the first year and then add to them on the second year. And if you do really bad in the first year, then you have a really hard time catching up, because like the other players have like higher points, and they have these higher points also for the second year plus whatever else they get. So it's kind of hard to catch up. That's what kind of held it back for the Golden Award, but it still got the silver one, and it highly deserves that. I'm now getting to the last 3 games for the Silver Ace of Games Award, and they're all by Ryan Lockett, my most favorite designer. First one is Sleeping Gods. Man, this game is amazing. I have filmed an entire playthrough, and like the first 2 or 1. Like the first 1 or 2 videos are already on my channel. You can check those out. Really fun to watch. I hope at least that you will enjoy that. I had a lot of fun making it, and it's a really great storytelling exploration game. You can play it great solo, play it great at 2 players. You can also play with 3 and 4 players if you wish to. It was kind of held back by its fiddliness. It's a little bit fiddly. It has a lot of components, a lot of small rules, and the first game will be a little bit rough at the beginning, at least, because there are like a lot of rules you have to look up, a lot of things you can forget when you replay it. So it almost got the golden one. It should have gotten the golden one because I love it so much, but it wasn't quite perfect. I get the feeling that the next Sleeping Gods iteration, which will be delivered this year to me, might have fixed these small minor issues, and the next one might actually get the higher award. But this one needs to be content with just the silver award, which is still, of course, very good. And the other 2 games that I will give this award to are Megaland and Above and Below. I've spoken about both games. Megaland I've played on the channel with Ayles. A really fun push your luck game with like a video game theme, kind of. Really fun because you always see like what the other players are doing, right? Like the other players are pulling out, and then you're like, you know what? No, I will stay in. And then it's really fun to actually watch the other players continue. It's a really cool and fun game. It also has a like this runaway problem a little bit. That one player can like kind of be very lucky at the beginning and then have more resources to actually get more points and gold in the later rounds, and that's kind of hard to catch up. So it is possible, it's kind of hard, so that's why it kind of was held back by that. And also Above and Below is an amazing game. I haven't played on the channel yet, but I have spoken about it. It's most of the time it's part of my top lists because it's an amazing storytelling, engine building, resource gathering game. And it's really good, but it isn't quite up there with like the best of the best, and that's why it deserves the Silver Ace of Games Award. Alright, so, and now, before we continue with the games that will get the Golden Ace of Games Award, something important. Let me just have a drink, because I'm thirsty. Well, never forget to hydrate. You know my motto. And now let's honor the games that I find the most excellent of all, and respectively worthy of the Golden Sir Thecos Ace of Games Award. Let's get it started. And this will be exhausting because there will be a lot of big boxes. But let's start with the smaller ones at the top of my piles first. Cartographers. You probably know that this is my most favorite roll or flip and write ever. This is an amazing game. Really simple to play. Really easy to teach, and really cool with these variable goals that change every game, and also that are different for each round. Really great. I definitely also need to get Cartographers Heroes at some point, because this is a really, really good one. The next one I have here is Caper Europe. Yes, I have not really talked about this a lot on the channel yet. I will try to play it at some point on the channel, but I have unboxed it, and I can tell you it's a really good game that I really enjoy. It's one of the best 2-players game in my opinion. It's like a tug of war, where you try to, like, with really great cards and great components and a really funny theme, you're just trying to have like the most influence over 3 different places in a specific city with different rules with your thieves. Really cool, really, really enjoyable. The next one on my list is one of my most favorite solo games ever. It was my number one solo game last year. Will it still be number one this year? Who knows? Well, I do, but you don't yet. But my next solo top list will come quite soon. Really cool solo game that is quite tough to win, but it is a lot of fun to try to take down the mothership, going through the waves of spaceships to get to the mothership at the end. It's a really cool back building game. I highly suggest that for everyone being interested in solo games because it's a really good one. The next small boxes I have, let's start with another solo game, but you can also play the 2-player count, is One Deck Dungeon. This is now the sequel here, Forest of Shadows, because I actually put like everything for both games in here, for the base game and also for the expansion. I managed to put everything in here, which is pretty cool. I have a video on my channel to show you how to do that if you own both games. Really good solo game that has a small box here. It is quite simple to play in terms of rules at least, but it's quite tough to win as well. And there's like a little mini campaign you can use, you can play there to actually further your skills. And that is really cool because you just become stronger and have more options. The next one might be a surprise for some of you. It's for Northwood. Yes, it might seem like a game that would get the silver Ace of Games award, but no, it gets the golden one because this is trick-taking that works really well as a solo game. It is a solo game. I hope they will do a 2-player variant at some point for this. But this is really good because you might think like, yeah, well, it's just automated. You don't know what the enemy plays, what the other person, like the AI plays. That's true. And you have like specific abilities and goals. You have to reach a specific number of tricks. And also you have like specific abilities you can use once per game. So that is really cool. It has a small campaign book. The art is very childish. It's almost a little bit too cutesy for me. But apart from that, this is a really good game. There's nothing I can hold against this game. This is really, really good. And has a lot of variety and stuff. So I'm still exploring this game. This is amazing and definitely deserves the Golden Ace of Games award. And 2 more small games. You know, I was talking about button shy games. There are 2 that I think are designed just really well. Like the very good ones of you might actually already know which ones these are. They are Rove, where you guide this little robot through obstacles. This puzzle is done so well. Not only is the theme and the art style great, but this puzzle is so crunchy. It is so simple in terms of rules, but it's so crunchy, and the expansions make this even better. This is an amazing solo game. I think they really outdid themselves on this one. And also the other one that is really, really, really good is SpaceShipped. I just played that live on my channel just a few weeks ago. And this is a really good one as well. Really enjoyable. It's tough to win. It's really tough to win, as is Rove. These are really tough solo games, but they are so rewarding when you actually win. These are like 2 of my most favorite button shy games ever, and they will definitely stay in my collection forever. I mean, they are not earning the Golden Ace of Games award for no reason, right? And now let's go over to a few bigger boxes. So first of all, we have Role Player. I still owe you a playthrough of that one. I haven't done so yet, but this one also deserves the Golden Ace of Games award. It's one of my most favorite games ever. It does like dice placement similar to Socorada, but I think it's just much better. It's also more crunchy, more complex, but it's much better, especially with at least one of the expansions. It's amazing. But it still counts for today's video because I have spoken about this game. It has made my top list last year, and for a good reason. So Role Player, really amazing, definitely deserves this award. The next game that I have unboxed and talked about is Paint the Roses. This is a really good deduction game for 2 to 4 players. Unfortunately, you can't play it solo, otherwise I would have played it on the channel already, but I'm still planning to play it at some point and show you how it works. Maybe I'll do a review, I'll do some video on it because it deserves it. It's such a good game. And if you have the deluxe edition, oh man, the components are just stellar. It's like one of the games in my collection with like the best components. We like have these nice chunky acrylic tiles, you have these miniatures, and you have like an amazing insert. And also like if you have like the expansion, then you even get like little scenarios, so to speak, that like change the rules. This is really good. It's also a cooperative deduction game. That is important to note, and a really good one at that. A game I've talked about, a game that made my top list, a game I have not played on the channel yet, but I will do quite soon, I hope. Like next year at the latest, beginning of next year. That's the plan, maybe in this year. Cthulhu Death May Die is an amazing game that plays great solo, but also multiplayer. In both cases, it plays really great. It's also a cooperative game again. You know, I like cooperative games, and it's like in the Cthulhu universe, and you like have different abilities, and you also have like different patient records that kind of like give you like a negative trait, and like every time you pass a certain threshold on the insanity meter, like that triggers, and it can lead to hilarious but also annoying events in the game. Really good, really tough to beat, but I think it's one of the best solo and cooperative games there are. The next two games should come at no surprise. Let's start with Dale of Merchants. I have the collection here, of course. This is an amazing game. You should know that because I have actually published a solo fan variant on the channel, and that's only a fan variant, and I still played it because I just like this so much. This is one of my most favorite deck building games. There are like two deck building games that I enjoy the most, and this is one of them. This is by Samilaxo of Snowler Design. They do a lot of great games, and this one is just one of the best deck builders in my opinion. There's such a huge variety. If you have the entire collection with all games, it has such a huge variety in just a regular game box. This is not even a huge box, and it's just amazing. The artwork is great as well. I'm gonna stop rambling. An amazing game, definitely deserves the Golden Ace of Games Award. And speaking of Samilaxo and Snowler Design, last year this was my number 2 most favorite board game of all time, and that is Lands of Galzyr. Of course, this also gets the Golden Ace of Games Award. This will get an expansion sooner or later, and then the game will even be better, I think. This is amazing. I have played this on my channel. I don't know how often I played it. I think I did a preview. I did an unboxing. I did, I think, 2 or 3 playthroughs on my channel. I did at least 2 playthroughs on Sami's channel, like live playthroughs. So many playthroughs on my channel already, and I would just want to play it again and show it to you again, play it together with you, because it's so great. Such a cool narrative game without a goal, without really leveling up. It's just experiencing a world freely and experiencing like small narratives and stories. Amazing. Such an amazing concept. Really relaxing. So much story in here. Really, really, really great. Alright. We have now looked at almost half of the games that deserve the Golden Ace of Games Award. But we're not done yet, and now, let me take a deep breath, because now the bigger boxes are coming. The next game should come at no surprise as well, if you keep up to date with my shenanigans. This is the Castles of Burgundy. This game would have gotten the Golden Sir Thecos Ace of Games Award anyway, even with the old editions, but this new special edition is simply stunning. This one adds a solo mode that is even better than that is much better than the old solo mode with an AI. You really have the feeling you're playing against someone else. All expansions are in here. The components are incredible. The graphics are great. This is the Ultimate Edition, and I don't even have like the miniatures and acrylic version. I just have the standard special edition, and that is more than enough. This is the definitive version of one of the best board games of all time. The Castles of Burgundy made my rank 3 last year of the best board games of all time. I play this every week. I've played this every week since, I don't know. I think I played like, how many games did I play? 150? 200? I have to check. But a lot. Really a lot. This is an amazing game. Definitely deserves the Golden Ace of Games Award. And now for the biggest box. You will not be able to see all of it, but this is Mechs versus Minions. This is an action programming game where you program your actions in advance and then everything gets out of hand. But the catch is this is cooperative. You try cooperatively to fulfill the level goal or the campaign's goals, but it's like all crazy. It's like all messed up because you can't really get your actions in order because everything just keeps happening in a way that you don't anticipate it. It's hilarious. Such a hilarious game, such good times. I just started painting the miniatures for that. You should check out that video where I like start with the journey of painting like the miniatures for this game. There are 100 in here. So that will take a long time, but this is a really, really amazing game. The next game I have not played yet, but I've unboxed it and talked about it. It has made my top lists, and I will play it on the channel this year because that's the German version. But the English version is incoming, including the new Satellites and Commanders expansion. The Artemis Project is an amazing dice placing game with a really cool player interaction because it is a little bit mean, but you can actually push each other off with the dice, so the others get less rewards than you. You use a lower die, you get less rewards. Then if you use the higher die, we can actually also make the other players get less resources. And that is pretty cool because you're really fighting for these resources. Really good, really great. I will definitely play that on the channel at some point as well. And I hope sooner than later. The next game I have actually played on my channel, and that is Black Angel. This is one of the most complex games in my collection. There's so much going on here. You can watch the playthrough I have on my channel. It's quite a long one, but I think it's very interesting. This is, in my opinion, I haven't played all of his games yet, but in my opinion, this is one of the best games by Sébastien Dujardin, a designer I really like, a designer whose games I really enjoy, and this is amazing. Cool artwork, a pretty cool theme also, and this has a lot of different mechanisms, and they all blend really well together in one large experience. This is pretty complex, but I think it's really worth learning that. This is amazing. Alright, I'm a little bit more than halfway through for the Golden Ace of Games Awards. Let me just kind of refresh here and then we will continue. Alright, let's take a look at the next games. This one I haven't played on the channel yet either, but I will at some point in the future when I get the English version. Spirit Island, really good, has made my lists for a while now because this is one of the best cooperative games ever. It is also very good solo. I enjoy it more cooperatively with other players, especially at a 2-player count, but you can also play it well solo. It is a complex game. It is a game that's hard to win. It is a pretty punishing game, but it's really, really fun to actually try to scare off the invaders from the island you're trying to protect as the ghosts that are all asymmetrical, so they all function differently. Also, I kind of drew on myself with my pen, which is great for such an important video, but well, that's the way it is. You're gonna have to live with that. Sorry about that. But no, it's a really, really good game that of course deserves the Golden Ace of Games Award, just as the even more complex solo game Dawn of the Zeds. This is mostly a solo game, but it also works well at a 2-player count. I don't know if I will play with more players, but this is amazing. This takes a long time to learn. This takes a long time to play. This one is really difficult to win. It is really complex to play. But this game offers an experience that no other game can give me. No other game. Dawn of the Zeds is the only game that I really am I'm really excited and anxious, whether I can win this game or not. And it's always really close. This is a really good game, but it's also really punishing, really long, and quite complex. It's not for everyone, but it is one of the best solo games in my opinion. And this is one of my biggest stars. I just started publishing my playthrough series on that. Aeon's End. I'm not talking specifically about the New Age. I'm just talking about Aeon's End in general. The newer versions are getting even better, but in general, this is a really cool cooperative deck builder that also works great solo. This is a great solo game. It is a great multiplayer game. I highly suggest this to everyone who wants a cooperative deck building experience that is a little bit tougher than other games. This is not easy to win, but it's really rewarding when you actually do win it. Really great game. More playthrough videos will follow soon. This is actually, I think, the newest game in my collection regarding all games that I'm talking about today. This is Explored, the Valley of the Dead King. I just released a 4+ hour video on this. This playthrough was really long. It took me 15 to 20 hours for the video to come out, actually. With everything, with editing and recording and preparing and everything. But this is an amazing game. I just played it solo so far, but it is also good multiplayer, I'm quite sure, because it pretty much works the same. You're just thinking and deciding on things together. But apart from that, this is a really cool game. It has exploration in here. It has an amazing character progression. You start so small and so weak, and you get really strong by the end of the game. This is really amazing. There was no doubt that this would get the Golden Ace of Games Award. Really good. If you want to kind of know how it plays, check out the video I have released on that. It is long, yes, but I think it's worth at least looking at it, just at least a few bits, so you kind of get an idea how it plays. Such an amazing game. Very hard to get in Germany, but luckily I did get a review copy from the designer, which I'm very thankful for. No surprise, of course, Cascadia also receives a Golden Ace of Games award, because this is like an amazing game. I have done so many videos on my channel on that. I have an unboxing, I have a review, I have at least two playthroughs. So I have like 4 videos on this game exclusively, and there might even be coming more in the future. It's really good. It's such an approachable tile-laying game you can play with almost anyone. It has a great theme, it has great artwork by Beth Sobel, it's simple to explain, simple to play, but you can make a family mode out of that, like make it even simpler, you can make it more complex with more other cards. It is getting a pretty cool expansion quite soon, so yes, there are so many reasons to give this the award. The next game on my list is Everdell. I was first debating whether I should give this a silver or golden Sir Thecos Ace of Games award, to be honest, but at the end, this is a game that not only has incredible artwork, it might be one of the most beautiful board games in my collection. Not only does it have a great theme and a great artwork, but also the gameplay works really well. And also the solo mode works really well. There is a game on the way, like the sequel kind of to Everdell, like a standalone Everdell game that kind of takes the idea and does streamline it, make it a little bit better. I don't know, but this game is still worthy of the Golden Ace of Games award, for sure. Alright, we're almost at the end. I have 4 games left here, 3 smaller one and a normal one. Next game is Azul. I actually can't show you like the original version because I've sold off my original version for like this Azul mini travel version. If you want to know why I did that and want me to show off this version of Azul, there is a video that I actually made on that to kind of explain to you why I got rid of Azul, although I think it's an amazing game. This is a classic. This definitely is already a classic, and this is like should be part of every board game collection, in my opinion. This is an amazing game. It plays best at 2 players, but you can play it also at 3 or 4 players. Great. It is a lot of fun. It has really engaging, puzzly gameplay, but it's still quite approachable and not too complicated. A really good game that definitely deserves the award. The next game on this list is actually a solo game again, like the last solo game, and that is Oneirum. I just talked about that before. This is part of the Oniverse, and I think it's one of the best ones. It has really approachable gameplay. It's quite easy to learn. It's not quite as luck driven as Urbion, which I just talked about before, but it still has a little bit of luck involved. But apart from that, it's a really cool gameplay. Yes, you have to shuffle the cards a lot, but this is still much better than the app. There also is an app for that, and it has like all expansions in here that make the game even more exciting. So really, really good, and I think this definitely deserves the Golden Ace of Games award. And the last 2 ones are nature-based games, as a lot of games in my collection. Parks is amazing. It has a great theme, amazing artwork, a really cool insert, nice components. The solo mode works well, but you can also play with up to 5 players well. I've actually really played it, I think, in all player counts, and all of them work really well. The game is different at all player counts. As a solo and 2-player game, it's quite relaxing, but it gets like quite tense and competitive as a 4 and 5 player game. But it's a really good game with a really, really great artwork, theme, and also gameplay. Really good game, definitely deserves the Ace of Games award as well. What could be the last game on my list? Come on, you know what it is. Of course. Of course it's Wingspan. What should I say about the game that I haven't said before? This is my most favorite game of all time. It's been that for more than 3 years, almost 4. I wanted to show you like the big box I got, like the big large nesting box. But it was just too much now for the camera here. But this is an amazing game. Great artwork, great theme, great gameplay, great everything. This is almost perfect in every way, at least for me. So of course, it gets the Golden Ace of Games award. Had I a Platinum Ace of Games award, Wingspan would be the only game to get it. Alright. Well, this is it. These are the Ace of Games awards and games that absolutely deserve them in my opinion. In the description I will put a link to a list of all the games that have received an award so far, and I will keep updating that list. And of course, I will continue awarding the Sir Thecos Ace of Games award if a game is exceptionally good in my opinion. And that concludes today's video. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for your support. That means the world to me. I especially want to thank my patrons who are generously supporting me on Patreon. The biggest thanks go out to Thecos, who's currently my biggest supporter. Thank you so much for that. If you would like to support me as well, check out the link to my Patreon in this video's description. There you can see the tiers I've come up with. As usual, I'm always thankful for a like, comment, and especially a subscription. By the way, you can also join my Discord server if you'd like to hang out with me and my awesome community. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the very next video. Take care everyone, stay safe, and cheers.